Now friends, let's talk about question number 17. It is a basic question we have. The position of a moving car at time t is given by f of t is equal to at square plus bt plus c, where t is greater than 0, where a, b, c are the real number greater than 1. Then the average speed of the car over the time interval t1, t2 is attained at the point, and these are the options we have been given. Now, so what we are going to do here is we use the concept of slope, and f dash t is nothing but speed we have, and also the average speed is nothing but f of t minus f of t1 divided by t2 minus t1. So what we can do, we can just take the differentiation of this twice at plus b, and here also we can just substitute t2 here and t1 here. We simplify this part, and once you simplify, we get t to be equal to t1 plus t2 divided by 2. Just a simplification, differentiation, equating, and we get the answer. So fourth option is the correct one we have. Now friends, let's talk about question number 18. Sigma I is equal to 1 to n, xi minus a is equal to n, and also we have sigma I is equal to 1 to n, xi minus a whole square is equal to na, where n we have and a we have which is greater than 1. Then the standard deviation of n observations x1, x2 up to xn is what? So these are the 4 options which are given to you. So this is a straight problem we have. If you have an idea of the property of standard deviation and variance, then we can always find it out. So that means if I talk about the standard deviation, generally the formula is somewhat like this. We have sigma xi square upon n, this is x bar square we have, right? Or actually we can write it in this way also, sigma xi square divided by n, and this is sigma xi divided by n, and this can be written as whole square. Now the interesting part is, suppose we subtract a from each and every observations, the standard deviations remains the same. Now this is what we have, sigma xi minus a whole square by n, this is we have sigma xi minus a upon n whole square. So if I see here, there are few terms which are given to us. We can just substitute the values. This is x minus a whole square we have is equal to na, and then we have sigma xi minus a n. So we can just substitute the values. Once you substitute the values, we get the answer to be root of a minus 1. So the fourth option is the correct one. Now friends, let's talk about question number 19. You have been given a, b, c and d, and p be any non-zero distinct real numbers such that a square plus b square plus c square into p square minus of twice of ab plus bc plus cd times p, and we have b square plus c square plus d square which is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation in p we have. Then we have to arrange this term in such a way, and we have to check that whether these numbers are in GP, ABCD are in AP, or ACP in AP, ABCD are in GP. So it's going to be a very interesting one. So it's more about rearranging the terms we have in this particular equation. So if I talk about this part, you can just have a look at this. A square, p square I can take. Then I can take minus of 2 ABP. Then let me take it as b square then. This is the first one. Then we have b square, and this is p square we have, minus of twice of bcp, and this is c square we have, right? And this is going to be, we have c square, this is p square, and this is minus of, we have twice of cd into p. So this is twice of cd into p, and this is coming out to be d square, which is equal to 0. So this can be written as ap minus b whole square plus bp minus c whole square plus cp minus d whole square. This is going to be equal to 0. So a square plus b square plus c square is equal to 0 means a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0 and c is equal to 0 we have, right? So that means we can write it as p is equal to b upon a. We can write p is equal to c upon b. Then we can write p is equal to d upon c. See, it's a very interesting sum. So what we have used a square plus b square plus c square is equal to 0, which implies a0, b0, c0. So that means if we equate it, we get b by a, c by b and d by c. That means common ratio is same, and then we can say that a, b, c, d are in GP we have.